Okay, President Akufo-Addo granted an interview today, yet another interview on Peace FM. He spoke to Kwame Sefaka, and we have isolated here on the paper in front of me a few aspects of the interview to show back to you, and then we can generate your comments before we go talk about the NCA. President, whilst he was in Cape Coast, conducted another interview, and there he is reported to have said, according to Section 88 of the MPP manifesto, that the offer for the people of Cape Coast was a London site, it wasn't a harbour. The day later, media who were fact-checking that realized that other aspects of the manifesto, Section 100 or so, the MPP promised to deliver a harbour to the Cape Coast people. In fact, Alhaji Mahamadou Bawumia, on the launch of the MPP's manifesto in Cape Coast, reiterated that position. The media then asked questions of the MPP that which one should they take, the president's London site or the vice president's harbour. This morning, the president was confronted with this controversy. This is what he said.
Cape Coast and
I made a mistake. Let me just confess it. I made a mistake.
You did?
Yeah, I made a mistake. In looking at the in the manifesto, and I tried to do that before I go. I saw one page which talked about a landing site. I didn't go further to see. But in any event, even with the mistake, I think still we have to rethink a lot of things. We can't have a harbour in Elmina. We have a harbour in Elmina, which is being developed right now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Takoradi, Elmina. Then we have another one projected for Cape Coast before we go further down the road. I think some rethinking has to go on for us to be able to find what is the value for money arrangements that were. But it was a mistake, and I have to apologize to the people of Cape Coast and the Central Region for that mistake. But presidents are human.
After all.
They're not Superman. They make mistakes.
Well, that's President Akufo-Addo. There are a few more we can show, but we have to continue with the program. Now, I just want to make this comment right now that given the President Akufo-Addo's regular media interviews, he grants media interviews all over the place. For those of us who have covered the Fourth Republic, we started with the presidential press conferences. It didn't really materialize. And communication between the president of Ghana and the people of Ghana during the period that he's president was very, very scarce. We put up a question at the Constitution Review Committee back in the day asking why the president cannot appear before Parliament and take presidential question time. I have to say that with what President Akufo-Addo has been doing, he's completely changed the model of presidential accountability to the people. And I think that the model is going to stay for a long time to come. Here's a president who's granting interviews all the time. This week, he's done about 3 interviews when he goes on his tour, every region. I'd like to commend the president for that. And in fact, commend him for when he goes on these interviews, he speaks like normal. Everything he says just flows like that. And you heard the last one, apologizing to the people of Cape Coast. That was a real difficult one. That was a big one. And he was right that on Section 88 of the manifesto said London site. Further down after 100, it said harbour. Maybe next time the MPP scribes should be clear on what they want. But that's what I like to say, commending President Akufo-Addo for dramatically changing the model of presidential accountability to the people through media interviews. I think that's a good one. Okay, so we will now go to Reverend Edward Fianco, who is with us. President also said in the video we have not been able to show you that he feels it a blessing to be president of Ghana.